Hi, my name is Priscilla. I'm a yoga instructor, and welcome to just a simple meditation in Vinyasa class that I hope you enjoy and that you can do right from your very own home. Be sure to follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this. I'm happy to have you here today. I always start all of my classes out with a meditation. So just lay back on your mat. If you don't have a yoga mat, you can use a towel. You can lay on a comfortable carpet. If you just want to meditate and not do the yoga part, you can lay down on a couch. However you're comfortable, get comfortable right now. Relax, close your eyes. Maybe you want to place your hands on your body and feel that nourishing breath coming in and out. Or maybe you just want to sit up and close your eyes. I always like to lay back when I'm meditating, but it's completely up to you. I'm going to talk a little bit about breath today. Breath is a great connector and equalizer. Breath connects us to the green beings that live in our homes, outside our homes, and in the far corners of the world. It connects us to each other. It connects the inner world and the outer world. Our discerning power with sensory knowledge. Our emotions dance with it. Our nervous systems reflect it. Breath has always been there for us in our suffering, our anger, our joy, our aging. Breath breathes us. We may receive the breath by assisting, controlling, holding, or forcing it. But it doesn't change, we do. Breath does not fail us. We fail the breath. We cut down prime forests as if our lungs were a separate entity. We release toxins into the air in the name of continued luxury. We spew words of anger and judgment as if the impact was inconsequential. And then we breathe this air. We breathe our own personal and collective human failings. We plant trees, protect forests, choose simplicity over extravagance, speak words of kindness and nourishment. And then we breathe this air. We breathe our own personal and collective human capabilities. We come into this world and become breathing beings. We leave this world when breathing stops. Every day, every hour, every minute, from birth to death, breath continually enters and leaves our bodies. How we receive it, how we release it matters. We contribute to the harmony and disharmony in ourselves and outside ourselves with every breath. So that's just a little something from the Kleshas, Exploring the Elusiveness of Happiness by Deborah Adele. I just love her writings. And I just want you to, while you're closing your eyes and breathing, to connect to that breath, to think about how we use breath in our lives. Maybe to think about how you use breath in your yoga practice and how that is perhaps different than when you're just walking around every day. And how could you make it the same? How could you bring your yoga practice off your mat with the breath? Because yoga is a practice on and off our mats. And now just notice your breath. As you lengthen the inhales and exhales, just notice. Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it tight today? Sometimes I notice that my breath is tight or closed off. And don't judge your breath. Just notice it. And then on your next inhale, come on up to a comfortable seat. You could be on a bolster. I have a bolster here, which is just like a little cushion. You could use a pillow if you don't have a bolster at home. And then I have 2 blocks here. So if you have yoga props at your house and you have blocks, go ahead and grab those as well. We might use those today. And then finally, just remember that anything I offer today is just a suggestion. You do not have to do any of it. You could lay on your mat and just relax during class. And if your body says no to anything that I offer as a suggestion, just don't do it. It's okay. Now, closing our eyes, getting comfortable in a seat, which could be easy seat with our legs crossed. It also we could have our legs extended. Breathe in deeply, perhaps closing your eyes, spine as straight as we can, rolling those shoulders up and back. Exhale deeply. On our next inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time, inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhaling up. Exhaling, taking the right hand down to the mat or down to a block if you're having trouble getting down to the mat. And then extending that left arm over your head and looking out past the left bicep and opening up that chest, opening up your heart. And then, of course, breathing. And as we begin to fire up our practice today, exhaling now to the left side, I want you to think of a mantra or a focus word. Maybe something that connects to the meditation I read about breath. Or maybe something else. Maybe just, I'm strong. Pulling those arms back in a cactus. Then inhaling back up. Whatever it is that you want to connect to today, pick a word or an I am statement and go ahead and connect to those. Taking your left hand to your right knee, right hand behind you for a twist. Nice straight spines. We are actually stretching out the spine right now. Inhale up to the center. Exhale, right hand to left knee. Twist. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, hands to heart. Now let's flow through that. Inhale up. Exhale, side bend to your right. Breath to movement. Inhale up. That's what Vinyasa is. Breath to movement. Exhale to the left. Inhale back up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale up. Exhale, twisting and grabbing that knee. Inhale up. Exhale, twisting to the other side. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Beautiful. Inhale back up. Exhale, let's pour our hands forward, fingertips to the ground, head between the biceps. Feeling that kind of intense stretch in our glutes and our hamstrings. And then we're going to inhale and walk our hands back to our body. And if you're on a bolster, we're going to remove the bolster. And we're going to sit long on our mat with our legs out in front of us. And actually, we're going to grab a block if we have it. If not, you could put a book between your legs. You could put a pillow between your legs. But we're going to go ahead and put that block right between our thighs and squeeze it. And then our feet, I don't know if you can see my feet because of the camera angle, so I'm actually going to get up here and change the camera angle just a little so you can see my whole mat. There we go. So we are sitting long on our mat in what we call staff pose. Nice straight back. There, now you can see my feet. Feet are flexed, black between the legs, okay? Inhale up, nice and tall. Inhale those arms out. Exhale, pull your heels up. So you should be like this. Then inhale tall here. Exhale, come down till you're just almost headed down. And then we're going to bring our legs up off the mat for boat pose. Now, maybe today you're not here and you're saying, nope, so I cannot do that. It's okay. You can just stay here today. So pick what you want to do. We're either here or here, and then we're breathing and we're inhaling that mantra or focus word. And we're exhaling out all the other chatter in our brain, all the things that our mind wants to tell us we can't do right now, we're letting that go and we're softening. And on your next exhale, put those heels down. Remove the block. Pull your thighs up into your belly. Sit up nice and tall for a nice little counter stretch here. Inhaling and exhaling. On your next inhale, we're going to take the legs back out again, this time without the block, but imagine it's still there. Then inhale your arms long, again back till you're at kind of an angle with the ground. Then inhale your legs up if you're ready for that. If not, keep your legs down on the mat. And then if you're ready for even more, straighten your legs out for full bow pose here. Inhaling, exhaling, 2 more breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, release, counter stretch like we did before, feet flat on the mat, pull that spine up. Here we go. Heart is maybe pumping now because we've been firing up that core. On your next inhale, you're going to dump your knees to one side and you're going to come into tabletop pose. So tabletop pose is hands, wrists beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips, tucking the belly button back to the spine, widening the fingertips out like this, like a starfish, okay? Crown of the head is facing front, so I should see the top of your head if you were looking at me. And then our gaze is just to the front of our mat, just between our hands at the front of our mat. Just like this. And then we're going to inhale, we're going to drop our belly and raise our gaze to the ceiling for cow pose. And we're going to wake up our hips by just kind of wiggling the tail on the cow here a little bit. Maybe doing some hip circles, one way and then the other. And then when you're ready, coming back to stillness, tucking that belly button back to the spine again. And then we're going to exhale and drop our head, dome our shoulders for cat. Shaking our head left and right, up and down. And then again, coming back to tabletop to stillness. Now that we know cat and cow, we're going to inhale for cow, exhale for cat. Breath to movement. Let's flow through this 3 more times. 2 more times. Last time. Then we're going to take our big toes together. We're going to widen our knees as big as the mat, and we're going to push ourselves back to child's pose. Really pushing those hips back towards your heels. If you're having trouble with flattening your head onto the mat, or it's not comfortable for you, you can place a block underneath your head. So that's the way to use that prop, that block today. Or if you have a pillow at home, you can do that. Otherwise, just bring your face right down to the mat. And with every exhale, we want to push our hips further back. And just extending the arms out comfortably. No need to overextend them. On your inhale, walk your right hand out to the edge of the mat and then take the left hand on top of that for a little side stretch here. Inhale back to center. Left hand comes over to the edge. Take your right hand on top. Back to center. On your next inhale, we're going to walk our hands back. We're going to take a block, and we're going to sit on our mat in hero's pose, just like this, sitting up nice and tall. I'm just going to camera's a little crooked, I'm noticing, so I'm just gonna fix that. There we go. So we're sitting up nice and tall. You might even want to use 2 blocks for this pose because it can be pretty intense on the quads and the hamstrings and the shins. So if you want to, you can sit up on 2 blocks. Then we roll our shoulders back. Definitely you should be sitting on at least 1 block. Spine is straight, hands are on our thighs. If you don't have blocks, you can just sit an easy sit, which is just your legs are crossed and you're on your bottom. Breathing here, maybe putting our hands over our heart space and feeling that heartbeat. One more inhale. And on our exhale, we're gonna place our hands down on the ground, push our hips up to downward facing dog. This will be our first downward facing dog of the session. So just checking our alignment. Feet are about hips width apart. Heels are tracking down towards the ground. Turn those biceps out. Hang your head between your biceps, but don't go further than your biceps. And then pushing our chest back towards our thighs, hips to the sky. Maybe walk out your dog a little bit once you get positioned. Just waking it up, right? Then on your inhale, we're gonna rock forward into a plank. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale to downward facing dog. Continue. Breath to movement. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. On our next inhale, we're going to come back to that tabletop position. Take our right leg back behind us. Rocking back and forth. I'll scoot up a little so you can see the whole body. Rocking back and forth a little bit. And then into our left hand, we're going to open up to the side of the space that you're in. Raise your right hand to the ceiling. Leave your right leg down on the mat for right now. This is a modified side plank. And then maybe if you're feeling strong today and it's in your practice, you can rock forward a little bit. You want that shoulder over the left wrist and lift your right leg up off the floor, pointing those toes forward to the front of your space. On your next inhale, take your hand over your head. Exhale, crunch. Inhale up. Exhale, crunch. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One more. Exhale. Inhale, stretch long. Put everything back on the mat. Cow and cat. Rinsing it out, right? Then we're going to take our left leg back because in yoga, everything we do on one side, we have to do on the other. So we're going to take our left leg back, rock back and forth. Really feel that stretch in your calf and behind your knee. And then coming to stillness, we're going to open up to the other side. Left hand comes to the sky. Modified side plank. Then again, if you're feeling good this morning and you feel like you can, maybe lifting up the left leg and pointing those toes towards the front of the space. Then taking the hand over the head, exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, go long. Exhale, knee to elbow. Keep going. One more. Go long. Exhale, hand to the mat, knee to the mat, cow and cat to rinse it out. Couple of times here. back to that neutral spine of tabletop, pulling the belly button back to the spine, tuck your toes, and push back up into that downward facing dog. Beautiful. Stay here for a minute, 3 breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And now from downward facing dog, we're gonna lift our right leg up into the sky for 3-legged dog, keeping our shoulders square to the front of the mat. We're gonna bend our knee and maybe roll out our ankles a little bit, or maybe do tiny little knee circles, one way and then the other. Then we're gonna inhale it back up to the sky. Exhale, rock forward. Bring your foot all the way through. Sometimes you gotta lift for a runner's lunge. Okay, and you can use these blocks if your wrists are bothering you today, or if you can't flatten your hands onto the mat. Runner's lunge, our left leg should be out long behind us, but if that's uncomfortable for you, you can lower your shin to the mat. Inhale here. Knee stays over your ankle. It doesn't go beyond your toes, okay? Then press that right hand into the block or into the mat and lift your left hand up for a twist. Maybe looking up at your hand, breathing in that mantra and exhaling out all the other crap. Exhale, hand to mat, press the left hand into the mat, twist the other way, right hand comes to the sky. Breathing, exhaling back down. Inhale here, exhale, drop your left shin to the mat, move your blocks for a second, and walk your right foot out to the outside of the mat, the right outside of the mat. Then hands are down inside, and we're gonna come onto the knife edge of the mat and rock forward into lizard pose. So I'm gonna turn forward just to face the camera so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Also, if you have knee issues, and being down on your knees for this sequence is really starting to bother you, you can take a blanket and put the blanket underneath your knees, like this, okay? So here we are in lizard. And we can rock out onto the edge of our foot, the right foot, and we can kind of play around with it. We can rock back and forth. We're really opening up that right hip. I'm really digging into a stretch there on the right side. You can also get out a block and put your hands on a block if it's bothering you to be, down flat on the mat. If you're really bendy and flexible, you can go down on your forearms in this pose. So go ahead and take a few inhales and exhales here in lizard. And then we're gonna inhale, we're gonna push our body back. We're gonna bring our foot back into the center, hands on either side for that runner's lunge. Tucking the left toes and the shin, straightening out the leg, and then again, imagining that we're taking our belly button back to our spine. We're gonna lift all the way up for crescent. So crescent is different than warrior one because our back heel is popped up and all 10 of our toes are facing the front of the mat. So we're gonna inhale up now, rolling those armpits in towards each other for crescent. Every exhale, see if you can get a little lower to the mat. Track that right knee out towards your right pinky toe. You're doing great. And on your next exhale, we're gonna open up to warrior two. So in warrior two, you can see my left foot has gone parallel to the back of the mat. It's flat. I'm still leaning into that front right leg. Knee is still tracking out. Then I'm gonna inhale an exalted warrior or reverse warrior, taking my right hand to the ceiling, my left hand down my leg, looking up at the ceiling or the sky. Then we're gonna exhale and bring our right elbow down to our right thigh. Left hand to the sky for extended side angle. Legs have stayed the same, by the way. Inhale back up to warrior two. Opening up that heart, looking out over that right hand. Next, inhale, we're gonna exalted warrior, reverse warrior again. Then we're gonna exhale, we're gonna come down to the mat. Hands come onto the blocks or onto the mat. Push your right foot back, you're now in plank. We're gonna do our first vinyasa. So we're gonna exhale all the way down. On our next inhale, we're gonna come up into a mini cobra, just the front of our body. Exhale back down. Inhale, cobra. Elbows stay bent. Exhale, tuck our toes. Downward facing dog. Now we're gonna do all that on the left side. Inhale your left leg up. Open up your hip. Roll out those ankles, maybe some knee circles, then straightening back up. Exhale, bring it all the way through to that runner's lunge. Remembering you can go down on your shin if you want. Press into your right hand first. Come on up for a twist. Exhale back down. Inhale, twist the other way. Trying to stack the shoulders. Exhale back down. Inhale here. Exhale, put your shin down. Bring your left foot out to the edge of the mat. Head into lizard. So hands are on the inside. We're really maybe rocking back and forth. Maybe we're coming down on our forearms. Inhale back up. Pressing one more time into that lizard. Remember, you can use the blanket under your knees if you need to. Then we're gonna walk our foot back to center. Tuck the toes. Inhale up so slowly. Core strength here to crescent. Roll those armpits forward, pinkies together. Right heel is popped up, left knee is tracking out towards the left pinky toe. Inhale here, exhale, open up to warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, left elbow down to left thigh. Right hand to the ceiling. Extended side angle here. Inhale back to warrior two. Looking out over that left hand. Next inhale, reverse that warrior. Exhale down to the mat for vinyasa. Or remember, you can skip vinyasas and go straight to downward facing dog. Walk out your dog. Now we're gonna flow just a little bit faster, and I might add on, so listen to my voice. Inhale your right leg high. Exhale, bring it through to runner's lunge. Inhale up to crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, exalted warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale to warrior two. Now listen to my voice. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Inhale, pull yourself forward. Exhale, tick-tock the arms down. That was my hip popping, if you heard that. And now we are in Trikonasana, or triangle pose. Breathing here, looking up at the top hand. On your next exhale, I want you to grab your blocks and turn your torso forward. Turn all 10 toes forward on train tracks on your mat. Bring that left leg in a little bit. Lean over the front right leg. Drop your head. Use the blocks here for your head. For your hands. This is pyramid pose. On your next inhale, come over your front for a forward fold. Just let everything hang heavy. You don't have to touch the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Check your halfway lift that your back is not domed. Flatten your back almost like you have a little arch here at the bottom. Pull those shoulders back. Exhale back down. Inhale all the way up to extended mountain pose. Exhale, come down to the ground. Step back to plank. Vinyasa to downward facing dog. Or just meet me in downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg high. Exhale, bring it all the way through. Inhale up for crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Listen to my voice. Exhale, straighten the left leg. Inhale, reach forward. Come down for triangle pose. Both arms are straight. Stack those shoulders if you can. Look up at your right hand. Exhale, find your blocks. Turn your torso towards that left leg. Step the right leg in. All 10 toes are pointing forward. Drop your head for pyramid pose. Settle into this great back of the leg stretch. Exhale, bring your foot forward. Forward fold, deep forward fold this time. Really feel it. Maybe bend your knees. Maybe grab opposite elbows and do some ragdoll here. Maybe draw figure eights on the mat. So many things you could do. Just hang out. Let your head and neck and arms hang heavy. Then inhale, halfway lift, flattening that back out. Exhale, back down. Walk it out to plank. Vinyasa to downward facing dog. Walk out your dog, grab a drink if you need to. Meet me back in downward facing dog in just a second. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. On your next inhale, walk those hands back to the feet. Hang out here for a second. And then we're gonna inhale up to chair pose. So for chair pose, we wanna keep a neutral pelvis and just like we're sitting back in a chair. We don't want this, we don't want this. That is not chair pose. Nice, neutral pelvis. I always like to say, imagine there's a tray of marbles under your pelvis, and if you lean forward, they're going to fall all over the floor. So we want to not lean forward. You can have your hands at heart center, or you can have your hands up. Remember to turn those armpits in and pinkies towards each other to avoid any shoulder strain, right? Breathing in here. Maybe on your exhales, getting a little closer to your mat. Maybe not, maybe you're good today. Then we're gonna inhale up very slowly. Left foot is our base. We're gonna bring our hands down and we're gonna attempt to bring the right leg up off the mat for one-legged Tadasana. I'll face you for a minute so you can see. So that was from chair. Inhaling up and maybe picking the foot up off the ground. Maybe the toes on the ground today because our balance is not where we want it today. That's fine. We have to listen to our bodies. So meet yourself where you're at. Find something to stare at that's not moving. We call that a dristi in Sanskrit, or a focal point. Then exhale back to chair. Now we're gonna take the opposite foot, which is probably your right foot, will be our base, and we're gonna inhale up, bringing the left foot up off the ground, or pointing the toe wherever we're at today for one-legged Tadasana or one-legged mountain pose. Exhale to chair. Beautiful. Now we're just gonna rotate those. Inhale, Right leg comes up. Exhale to chair. Inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale to chair. Inhale, right leg comes up. Now we are going to exhale and push that right leg behind us, reaching out in front of us for warrior three. Face down to the ground, looking at the ground. Exhale, bring it down, chair. Beautiful. You're doing great. Inhale the opposite side up. Exhale, push it through for warrior three. So from the side, warrior three looks like this. Balance. See, even the yoga teacher doesn't have balance sometimes. So warrior three. See if it's better if I'm reaching out towards myself and the camera. Yep. Head down. Exhale back to chair. If you fall out, you just come back to it, right? Then we're gonna inhale up to star. Shake it out. Heels in, toes out. Spirit fingers. On our next inhale, reach out nice and tall. Exhale, bring your hands down through the center. Bend those knees and come into goddess. Goddess is the same as chair, where we want a neutral pelvis. We don't want to be sticking out like this or be bent forward like this. So nice and neutral. Breathing in and out here. Inhale your arms up. Exhale through center. Bring those hands to the insides of your thighs. Sink in. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale nice and tall. Exhale, take one shoulder into the middle. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, take the other shoulder. Inhale, back to center. Keep going. Awareness of that nourishing, life-giving breath, right? You can do this. Soften. Inhale up to star. Inhale those toes in, ankles out. Exhale down to a wide-legged forward fold. So in wide-legged forward fold, we have lots of options. You can use a block, put your hands on it. You can just put your hands on the mat in front of you. You can grab your ankles and really pull in for a deep back of the leg stretch. You can put your head on a block. It's really yogi's choice here. So pick what you want to do and settle in to what you're comfortable with. Breathing in and out. In and out. On your next in-breath, you're going to shift over here to your right foot. Point your right toes out. And we're going to come into a deep side lunge here. You can also, if you're an experienced yogi, you can do Skandasana if you'd like, which is we bring our left heel up, our right heel up, and we sit up into this deep lunge. Or if you'd like to be a little higher today because you can't get that low, you can do skater. So choose what you want, or you can just be in a lunge. 2 more breaths here. Inhale back to that wide-legged forward fold, toes in, ankles out. Maybe do something different this time. If you were on your hands last time, maybe be on your head this time. Maybe grab your legs. Whatever you'd like. Then on your next inhale, point those left toes out and come on into that side lunge on the left side, or Skandasana or skater, whatever your body wants today, right? We're listening to our bodies. We're aware of our breath. We're softening into what our body can do today. It's not a competition. It's just a practice. Inhale, back to center for one more wide-legged forward fold. This time I'm going to kind of stretch out my wrists because I'm on my wrists a lot as a yoga instructor. So I'm going to do some different things with my wrists to just kind of stretch them out while I'm down here. And then, on your next inhale, I want you to find your blocks. Ankles in, toes out. Stand up straight. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale, come down to a yogi squat or malasana. Sitting up on the blocks, or if you don't need the blocks and you're an experienced yogi and you don't need the blocks, that's great. Heels should be flat on the ground, toes out. Sitting up nice and tall, press those thumbs into your chest, maybe close your eyes. Opening the hips with the elbows. On your next exhale, press your hands into the mat, raise your hips up, take the blocks out, find yourself in a seated position with a 90-90. So we're gonna put one leg in the front at a 90-degree angle and one leg on the side. This is also called deer pose. Sit up nice and tall. Sometimes if you're new to yoga, you kind of are sitting sideways like this. You need to get your spine straight. So one little trick I do, just kind of a visual trick, is I'll put the block in front of me and kind of put my fingertips on there, and then that reminds me to kind of, sit up, roll my shoulders back. Sit up nice and tall. Then we're gonna inhale up. We're gonna come back to the beginning of class and we're gonna twist, taking that hand down to the knee, other arm behind you, and twisting up with a nice straight spine here. Flexing our feet to protect our knees. Beautiful. Continuing to breathe in that mantra or focus word, and exhale out all the other garbage in your brain. All the negative things your mind might be saying to you right now about, I can't believe I got myself into this. I'm gonna turn this off. I can't do yoga. Let all those things go. You're here, you made it. You're on your mat. That's half the battle. Inhale back up. Exhale, twist to the opposite side, maybe grabbing the back of the thigh on this one. Okay, then we're gonna come into bound angle or Baddha Konasana. And for the first bound angle, we're gonna do two of them, but for the first one, I want you to take your heels a little further away from the center of your body and just grab your ankles and sit up nice and tall. You're gonna feel this on the outside of your thighs. On your next inhale, push those legs out straight in front of you. I'll actually turn on my mat so you can see. And then get your blocks. We're gonna do a forward fold. Feet are flexed. Put the blocks here. Sit up nice and tall, almost like you're pulling your body up off the mat. Then exhale and come forward, reaching and keeping that back flat and those shoulders pulled back instead of doming, okay? So, and then settle in on the blocks, hands on the blocks, chin to your chest a little. When you feel like you're on the edge, like about 60% stretch, right? If you can get further, of course, you can grab your ankles, you can bend your knees a little bit if you need to, just a little micro bend. You can grab your toes, but we want to stay pretty flat with the back. We don't want to do this with our back. We want it to do this, like a flip phone. Then on our next inhale, we're gonna come up nice and slow, and we're gonna switch out legs. So I think whatever leg you had on the front, the first time we're gonna come into that deer pose 90-90. On the opposite side, remember that trick with the block to sit up nice and tall. Just kind of checking yourself, checking your posture. Inhale up, exhale, twist. Inhale up, exhale, twist to the other side, maybe grabbing the back of the thigh. Feet are flexed, back is straight. Inhale to bound angle. And this time we're gonna bring our heels really close to the center of our body, as close as we can get them, and we're gonna grab our toes. Maybe open up our sole to the soles of our feet up to us a little bit. Sit up nice and tall. This you should feel in your inner thigh and your groin. And maybe if you want to, you can keep a flat back, but you can come forward a little bit, maybe tucking your chin. Maybe you can fold over all the way, but again, we want to keep a flat back. We don't want to dome our shoulders and cause any lower back pain. Breathe in here, exhale out, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, open your legs wide for another wide-legged forward fold, but this time we're sitting. I like to put a block in the middle. Inhale those arms up, almost like you're pulling your butt up off the mat. Exhale like someone's pulling you, like I'm pulling you, towards the screen. Keep the back flat, settle in on the block, chin down, breathe. Flex those feet. Grab your toes maybe if you want, if you can keep your back flat and do that, or you can grab your legs. This is another one where you can bend the knees just a little if you want to. If it's really painful for you, then just go down as far as you can go today. We don't want pain. We want you to feel sensation and stretch. So if you're new to yoga, this is your first time and you're not very flexible, it's okay. Listen to your body and just go as far as you can. Just go as far in as you can, okay? Then we're gonna, again, inhale up nice and slow. We're gonna bring those legs together because we're getting ready for the end of class. Don't get too excited. We're gonna inhale our arms out long like we did at the beginning for boat pose, and now we're gonna exhale and we're gonna come all the way down on our mat, laying down flat. Just resting here and breathing for a few breaths. Maybe placing one hand over the heart and one hand over the solar plexus or the belly. Feeling the rise and fall of that beautiful, life-giving breath, right? Inhaling, exhaling it out. On your next inhale, you're gonna bring your knees into your chest. Maybe roll around a little bit. Massage out that lower back. And then you're gonna drop your left leg out straight, bringing your right knee into the chest as far as you can, maybe even bringing it over to your armpit area. Then we're gonna grab the right knee with the left hand. We're gonna take the right hand out to the side in a T. And on our exhale, we're gonna take, keeping our shoulder blades on the mat, we're gonna take the right knee over the left leg and look out over our right arm. This is a supine twist. Next inhale, come back to center, grab the legs. Roll around a little bit, and then exhale, extend the right knee out, pulling that left knee up into the chest or into the armpit if you could manage it. Then we're gonna grab the left knee with the right hand, extend the left arm out into a T. Exhale, supine twist on this side. Remember, we wanna keep our shoulders on the mat. So if your shoulder blades are coming up off the mat, you're rolling too far, back out a little bit, and then look over your left arm. Inhaling back to center, pulling those knees up to the chest, maybe pulling your head and your forehead up to your knees as well, rolling around. Perhaps if it's in your practice, grabbing the outsides of your feet and coming into happy baby, kicking the legs, rolling around a bit. Continuing to breathe. And on your next inhale, I want you to stretch out really long on your mat, arms above your head. Stretch those feet. Pretend that someone's pulling you to both ends of your mat. Inhale. Exhale to Shavasana. So Shavasana is just our final resting pose. We're just going to lay flat on our mats. We can have our hands on our body. We can close our eyes. You can lay our hands to our sides if we want. We can have the soles of our feet up like this. We can open up to butterfly pose, to open up the hips a little if we want to. The choice is yours. But the biggest part of Shavasana is to settle into stillness. As human beings, we often have trouble being still. So honestly, this is like the most important pose of your practice. Laying flat on your mat, closing your eyes, and bringing awareness to your breath. Bringing some awareness back to the space. Fluttering your eyes open, wiggling your toes and fingers. And just inhaling gratitude for your practice today. Saying thank you to yourself for coming to your mat, for listening to your body, for moving. When you're ready, and only when you're ready, use the strength of your arms to push yourself back up to that comfortable seat that we were in at the beginning of class. Maybe finding your way back to closed eyes. Placing one hand over the other in your heart space. Inhaling deeply. Open mouth, exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Inhaling those arms up. Exhaling, bringing your fingertips to your third eye between your brows. The light in me truly, truly honors the light in all of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you follow and subscribe on my YouTube channel, and I hope to be back for more soon. Take care.